This is Daf Yerushalmi Shevi'is. The article of Bahar edition we're on Daf Ein Gimel Amud Aleph, and we got to the Gemara. In the Vilna, we're on Daf Chafei Amud Beis. And after the Mishnah is after Mishnah Beis. So, and right now, according to Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalmi should be exclusive for Eretz Yisrael for Achinu Kol Beis Yisrael Mukol Makom Shehem, which will be very good to a Yeshua and Gula flavor. So we are. And the Beis here. As long as there's enough for the chaya, for the wild animal, from the non-domesticated animal from the field, the domesticated animal can eat from the house. In other words, you don't have to get rid of your produce; it's just you already took. If everything from the outside area is gone, and you have to remove the things which you have holding at your house from the house. In other words, you have to take it out of your house and make it hefker. So the reason why there are three chayrotzos for Shevi'is, if we say that there are three rotzos for Shevi'is, is because there are, when we say the three rotzos for Shevi'is, is because they said that the perachaya in the mountain, it eats the type of food which grows in the mountain. Perachaya which grows in the Amek, it eats the food type of food grows in the Amek, and not vice versa. So therefore, each place has its separate status. Tikli Tanus, it says he was the king of Rome. Rashi says, and when he was young, he was a roeh chazirim, a pig herder in Eretz Yisrael. That's the Yerushalmi and Chumas. So Tikli Tanus oich livnei pamayas. He caused difficulty for the people who live in pamayas. Pamayas is generally understood to be what we call the banias today, and he increased their taxes. Amrin they said to him, we're going to leave this place, and land's going to remain desolate. Amar lei, so he said, I'm sorry, Amar Sufsisa, the sage advisor. Sophista obviously comes the same notion as sophistry, and it has to do with somebody who is a cunning or smart person. Lo yezlun, they're not going to go. If they do go, chazun, they're going to come back. If you want to check it out, I see tavian, bring deer, kesef, and cover their horns with silver. And the reason why she would is that you should be able to recognize them when they come back. Sent to a distant land. Eventually they'll work their way back to their place over here. Avakain, so he did that. He brought deer and covered their antlers, I guess it is, with silver. He sent it to Africa. It's interesting. The Kavanaki points out that Africa is called Eretz Ka'artzuchem in Melachim Beis Yud Ches Lamed Beis, and the Sancherib says he's going to take. I think it's Sancherib says he's going to take the Jews to a land which is like their land, and therefore the chiddush is that even though Africa is very similar to Eretz Yisrael, they weren't satisfied to remain in Africa. So therefore, Sof Tlas Asrei Shnin Chazon Asrei at the end of 13 years, they came back to their place. And you see, like what Chazal say elsewhere, Chein Mokum Al Yoshuv, the grace of a person's place is upon him, and therefore a person has is homesick even for places which are not particularly good to live with. I think the place in what's called Kibbutz Shammai, where they had to wrap, maybe it's in the Medrash, but they had to wrap the head of a newborn child with mud in order to keep up the mosquitoes. And nevertheless, there was a Talmud in the yeshiva, I forget whose yeshiva, who was yearning and feeling homesick for this place. And so Chazal say, you see, Chei Mokum Al Yoshuv. So here too, the Bnei Pamyas wants to talk about who Chayas who stay in the Emek, Chayas who stay in the Har. So we say that this is true also about people. People live in a certain place, even though the place is not pleasant, even though the place is oppressive, you take them away, they want to come back. Tanya, Rav Shimon Gamliel says, Siman Laharim Milin. You want to know if you're in the mountains, so you look for milin, which Rashi Pesachim in the Gittin says are atzei apatim, which are gall oaks. Gall is what you use in order to work over hides, in order to write svarim on them. So you have to that if you want to know when you're in a hill, you look for those gall oaks, and then you know you're in the mountains. Lamokim, if you want to know you're in the valleys. Timochim, you look for dates. Linachalim, if you want to know if you're near a river. Kanim, look for reeds. La Shvela, if you want to know if you're down in an area which is kind of at sea level, so then you look for Shikmim, you look for sycamore. Even though there's no proof of this, there's an indication of this. Shneimah says, Shlomo, the Shlomo HaMelech, who made the he made sycamore, cedars as inexpensive as sycamores, despite the fact that the sycamores grow in close proximity, and then many of them, so obviously the price is lower. The cedars, which grow in a high area and not as many of them, he made their prices equal. Some people say that this is in terms of mekach u'memkar, that if a person, in other words, what's nafkamina, knowing what this is, if a person sold somebody a nachal, so he has to show them that the reed's there, otherwise it doesn't count as a nachal. Some say it's for the purpose of egarufa, but it says nachal eson, you have to shecht it, you have to wring its neck in a place in a gorge, let's say, where nothing was ever planted before, nothing was ever worked before, never cultivated. So if you want to know what a nachal is, that purpose, look for kanim, look for reeds. V'emek. That's actually Yerushalmi is inside. Yeah, that's also the same header in the article, even though it seems not to be in the regular Yerushalmi. Ezu Emek. What's considered to be Ezu Emek Shebagolu. What's an Emek, which is in the Golio. You know, and it's interesting. I see now, I'm not sure why he changed it. Kaminoki has that he came back after the 13 years. And in the film that says, so Schlesingstein, he came back after 30 years. I assume Kaminoki didn't want to say that because deer don't necessarily live that long. But in any event, it's a question of what it means here. Does it mean 13? Or does it mean 30? So back where we are. Lamina Sedin Itmar means Nafkinis from Mekach Memkar. Mina Sedin Yerushalmi always refers to Mekach Memkar. So Mina Sedin Nemra means that the Nafkimina is to know what you're buying. So if you want to buy a Nachal, the way to tell it's a Nachal and the controversial tilt is if it has Kanim, and so on and so forth. We used to buy the Meimar. We used to buy the Meimar Leger Uvar Itmar. We learned the, I think I read this before already, but I think I skipped a miss. Yes, I did. Anyway, so we say like Rufa Yitmar how you can know Nachal Esa. Okay, it says going for I did that before. I know where I'm back. Must be very tired. For Emek, the valley. Tanya is Emek Sheba Galil. What's going to be Emek in the Galil? So Emek in the Galil, Emek in Yehuda, Emek in Ever Yarden. It could be anywhere. So what's Emek Sheba Galil? Zui Bikas Kinosar v'Chamasel. It's the depression of Kinosar and its environs where things used to grow obviously much longer than elsewhere. Says the Gemara, Yehuda har, and Yehuda, one of the regions is a har. He's what's in here, Tanya. What's the mountain in Har Yehuda? What's referenced by har? We're talking about Yehuda. It's a Har Melech. It's Har Melech, which we already mentioned is a highly fertile and very lush area. Ushvei Lasso, and what's its depressed area or its lower down area? Zushvelas Hadoro. It's the depressed area of the south. Emek Shalah, and it's Emek, its valley is from Engedi, and Yerichon, that's an area in of itself in terms of the halachas of beer. Okay, so that's the Har and Yehuda. And now we talk about the Har in Eber Yarden. He's actually Eber Yarden, the Tanya, Reb Shimon Loz Omer, Kigon Harei Michvor, such as the mountains of Michvar, the Kedur, and those mountains of Kedur, Kadur, V'chein Kol Keretzer, and so to anything similar. Ushtela, so what's the Shtela of Emek Yarden? Or it's nowhere near the coastal plain. Right, it's way away. And so what's its shvela? Receive what's in this paragraph again? Is our shvela time shvela doesn't make harei michvor udur chen kritzvem shvela receive cheshbon kol area asher mishor. So you have some things up high, some things down low on a plane. Divonim momospal the Divonim Bomaspal and by base Balamon Chechetzvem, they are similar to what we are learning till now. And you can have anything which has this division into regions where the date is going to be a different end date per region. As it says, Ve'emek Beis Hadam, Ubeis Nimra, V'zukos B'tzafon. Yes, all these were areas which really belong to Sichon. It's time of the first base of time of the Mishnah. Beis Hadam, Beis Ramsa. Whatever it's called, Beis Hadam in this Mishnah, Emek Beis Hadam, Beis Nimra. So Beis Hadam, Beis Ramasa. It is something which I'm not sure if I what it is. One second. Let's do that again. The Tanya of Shimon Lozamer, Kigon, Harim Hari Michvar, B'Gedur Chen Kitzvem. So in a Vayard, you'll see the Cheshach around Sheba Mishor. They're in a plane, assuming it's lower. Divon Bamaspal, Ubay Base Bamaon, Kayotza Bahem, all these places is only at the bottom of the ridge towards Lod. That's considered to be the mountain. No. It's very again. Eizu Harshali Yarden Tanner. I'm showing you there. Going Harry Michvar, Gudur Chel. She lost the baby. I think the same Cheshbon Choro Shabbat Mishor. Divon Obama, Smile Obama, own the Chinko Tzabem. They're all concluded in Mishor. The Amek Shalo was the Amek of every Yardim, base Haros, or base Nimra, the Chinko Tzabem. Anything similar. You see, the Amek base Hadam, who base Nimra, Vitsukos, Vitsafon. Yes, I'm on the Chos, Chisichon, Melch, Cheshbon. You know, there are auspices of Sichon at the time. Base Haras, base Ramsa. Yes, it's darshaning that I don't know actually. Actually, based on based on Mamera, but can't quite explain. You see, it says Emek base Hadam, base Hadam, base Nimra. Sukkos Tzafon. Yes, and Mechos Sichon Melech Cheshbon. These all were part of the kingdom of Sichon. Base Hadam is base Ramsa, the high mountain. Base Nimra is base Nimri. Sukkos is their Ela. Tzafon is Amsu. So all these are different places, different locations. They all have different times, assuming, although most of them are mountains, I guess. It's not clear. Okay. So, Shvela Shabahar, Varev Shvela. So it's a little bit bikmia. If the land has mountains around it, and it has a short, and it has a low down place in the middle, what's the halacha? So it says Gemara, what about Shvela freestanding? Matani Hod Varu Ve'imko Ve'emek Ve'imko Shpala B'Shiflasa. These are all places which are in the mountains in Eber Yarden. So again, I think I mispunctuate here. Shifla is Shebahar, Varei, and then the Gemara says Bahar Sheb Shvela, right? What is the har in the I have a valley with the mountains, but I can mountains in the middle of the valley. The amount of times it says Har Baharo, the mountain and its mountain itself. So that teaches us not yet. Emek V'imko, Shifla B'Shiflasa, all these similar towns. Adamar teaches Shifla Shebahar Kahar. Shifla, which is on the mountain, is like a mountain. And Bahar Shebeshvela, and the mountain, which is in Shvela, is Kishvela. So you can't have interruptions in the topography of the land, but it still goes by the ikar of the land. Basically, must be Nimnin, Sukkos Dar Allah, and let me go there again. It was Beis Adam, Beis Ramcha, Beis Nimnas, Beis Nimnin, Sukkos is Dar Allah, Tzfon is Amitu. These are all different inhabitants of the land. Again, let's see it again. Shvela Shabbat, Shvela. What do you mean, Shvela in the mountain? Never just on a mountain, right? So therefore, a very tiny harva row. Emek v'imko Shvela l'Shvelasa Hadam Rosh Shvela Shabahar Kebahar, Bahar Shebeshvela Keshvela, and then because we say double language by both. On Rav Yasser it said, "Okay, v'hahar shela kehara melech." Okay, then we had a brisa which has been which is written down in Matani Bahar Baharo. I don't know if we have that brisa in front of us. So it says Har Baharo, Emko Shvela Shlas, a double language, and all of them. Them are Shvela Shabar Kebahar. There's just a Shvela in the mountain, it's like the mountain. And Bahar Shvela is Shvela. And the mountain in the Shvela is like the Har Shalah Kehar Hamelech. So the Moshe says that the Har Shalah Kehar Hamelech, specifically the Har, which is in the depression of Lud, is considered to be a river, but generic mountain in the Shvela is actually to be a Shvela because that's not its place to be. So therefore, it doesn't have its own independent status. It goes like everything else in that Shvela. Kapinaki learns the last point that a Har Shlomo Caramel is specifically the Har, which is the depression of Lod, is considered to be a mountain. But I guess that's some significance. But Stam Har Shvela is considered to be like the Shvela itself. Yeah, so again, it's an exception to the rule. We base Chorah Varayam. So we base Chorah to the sea. We said that is all considered to be one Medina. So Gemara says Parakuri. The Kabbalaki says Perichuron is a pelech or a suburb of the city. It's a question. It's very small. How could it be a country by itself? Which is also we said by Tver in our Mishnah. So Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, "Oh, he yeshba har shvelu b'emek." Even the small area from Choron to Amaus has a several different lands in it. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, "Oh, he yeshba har shvelu b'emek." It's got rich variation of land, so they have it small. Still, even his son of Amos, from base one of Amos is Sahar, Amos has Lod Shitla, and below Yom Emek V'Nisnei Arba. Why doesn't that say four things? Why is not four? Muravase, because they are mixed together. So he says, since the Schum is an Eretz by itself, then the Tana should have counted 4 lands and not 3. And the Gemara answers that since they're mixed up together, so we lumped them together. In other words, I guess the boundary between them is not clear. Those which are, we only make separate lands in a place where the mountain is distinct from the Shvela and so on and so forth. But in these lands, they were not distinct. So as Gemara says, even if it's a perichurim, even if it has a governmental jurisdiction area, a state, county, whatever, that doesn't count for us. Right? Odi Bahar, Shvela, Emek, we got to go by geographical patterns. And then they would say, Beis Charon Baramos is Har, Me'amos had a Lud of Shvela, Milu Vayam from Lud of the city is Emek, but it's the Arba, where they would say 4 Muravas Haim, because it's not clearly defined here. What are the specific parameters? Tani Amos Yerushalmi. So in Syria, they make it 3 lands. Right? They made Takana, Eretz Yisrael, keep 3 lands. But not in Chutz, so it's not in Babel. And I think that brings us to the top of Ayin Dalet and Aleph, literally the bottom of Ayin Gimel on the base. Basically, we will stop here from the base of Ad Hayam Medina Chas.